This is the PGYTECH OnePro Flex, and there is a lot to love about this bag. I think they might have even found the perfect balance between a hiking and photography bag. So let's get into it. First, I should mention that I was sent this bag by PGYTECH. And at first when they emailed me, I wasn't 100% sure if I was going to take them up on their offer of trying out one of their bags. PGYTECH is definitely a brand that I've heard of, but I wasn't super familiar with, and I wasn't really sure what their reputation was like when it comes to bags and other gear. However, I did a little bit of research on the pack and actually went to a local camera store and checked a few out as well. And after that, I was super excited to try one out. I've been on the lookout for the perfect combination of kind of a hiking and camera bag hybrid, and in all honesty, I think I might have found one. So one of the main reasons I was really excited about trying out this bag is because of its ace frame harness system on the back here. This also comes with their 3D arch technology in the form of these metal supports running up the side, and also their fitlock adjustment system. This is essentially the same kind of carry system that you find on most high-end hiking backpacks, and that means a couple of things. Firstly, it means you're going to get a more comfortable carry, especially when carrying heavy gear. The back's also going to be more breathable because air can flow behind the system here, so you won't get such a sweaty back, and also you're going to be able to dial in the fit to make it absolutely perfect for you. This is the kind of back system that I look for on any hiking bag that I buy, so it's fantastic to see it on a more photography specific bag as well, really combining both hiking and photography into that one back system. The fitlock adjustment system adjusts simply by pulling these orange tabs on the side here. You can pull these out and then slide them up and down to get them into the slots that you like and the fit that works best for you. And then on top of that, we also have the standard kind of adjustments that you'd get on most backpacks, under your arms there, across your chest, and the load lifters at the top, so you can dial in that perfect fit around your chest. And on the waist strap as well, we have a lot of webbing there for a lot of adjustment across the waist. There are also some other features on the straps and the hip belt itself that I really love. On the shoulder straps themselves, there are multiple clipping locations, both at the top and kind of halfway down. And on the right hand side here as well, we have this nice mesh pocket here, which in my experience is perfect for a can of bear spray here in the Rockies. And then on the other side here as well, we also have those same clipping points, which is perfect for a Garmin InReach or something similar. But we also have this webbing here stitched on. It's a little bit thicker. And the idea of this webbing, we have it both on the left shoulder strap and also on the hip belts. And this is for a camera clip or a capture clip. And honestly, this is a bit of a godsend and a feature that I absolutely love. I've had other bags where it's quite difficult to get a capture clip or a camera clip around the whole strap, but with this, I put it just through this nylon webbing here, and that's exactly what it's designed for. And in turn, that also means that I don't have the camera clip pushing against my skin. It's not pushing against my chest, which after a while of hiking does get quite uncomfortable. With this, you just don't have that issue, and honestly, the relief from it is amazing. To be able to see that hanging off you and not get sore is just incredible. Every camera bag should have this kind of feature. And on the left-hand hip pocket here as well, we have this big zip pocket, nice and stretchy mesh, and it can hold a lot of stuff. You could obviously fit a lot of snacks in there, or you could put any size phone in there. And what it does fit, which I was actually really excited about, is it fits every piece I need for my DJI Osmo Pocket 3. It fits the camera itself, the extra batteries, the little tripod stand, and the microphone. So for the way I create and the way I shoot, that is perfect. I can have my camera on the outside here whilst I'm hiking, and also my DJI Osmo here, quick to hand for when I want to vlog, without feeling uncomfortable. All the straps on this bag as well are made from a really nice thick foam, and you can see on the shoulder straps here the foam is actually perforated with small slits just to make it even more breathable, so you're not going to get really sweaty underneath those straps as well. As with any good hiking bag, the chest strap is also adjustable. You can slide that up and down. Has a little bit of elastic to give you some stretch for when you're breathing, but also does up tight enough to make it feel like it is doing something. So all in all, the back system for this bag is incredible. This is by far the best back system I've had on any camera bag. But apart from that, what are the other features? So as for the rest of the outside of the bag, we also have some other great little storage sections as well. On this side here, firstly on both sides, we have a nice strap across the side here for accessories, and also this stretchy pocket. This pocket's actually big enough to fit a Nalgene bottle in if you want to carry water, but it also acts as a tripod carrier as well. So you just slide your tripod into there and then strap it back using this strap at the top, and you can put one on both sides. There's also a third option to carry a tripod as well. So for me personally, if I'm hiking, I like the weight to be relatively balanced. So if I am carrying 2 tripods, which I do if I'm filming, I'll keep one on one side and one on the other. However, if I'm just taking one tripod and I want my bag to feel a bit more balanced, I can put it down the center. So at the bottom of the bag here, I can pull out this little tripod pocket, pull that out, put the feet of my tripod in there, and then put it behind some of this elastic as well to keep that nice and in place. That is also removable and can be attached to the side of the bag as well if you prefer to use it that way. Definitely great to have both options when it comes to tripods, having the option of putting one on the front and 2 on the sides. Then on the side of the bag here, we have a quick access door panel. I can open that up and get quick access to my camera, and it's actually a true quick access door as well. There's nothing else in the way of this zip. Super quick, super fast, super easy to get your gear out. This door here also has some storage built into it. It has their battery indication system. So if I open that pouch up, you'll see in here that I have all of my batteries. And there's 4 little pouches here and 3 little indicators, big enough for a battery each. And above here, you've got an indicator that's either green or you slide it to red. And you can use that to indicate if your battery still has power or not. So a really nice way of kind of staying more organized. And obviously there's room for other bits in there as well. I think that's a great feature as well, having quick access to batteries as well as your camera, because those are probably the 2 things you're going to need in a bit of a pinch. Then on the other side of the bag, we have another pocket. If we open that up, no quick access, but lots of mesh pockets, lots of smaller areas here, perfect for organizing kind of SD cards and smaller bits that you might need. Then on the front of the bag, we again have one nice large pocket as well. We can open this up all the way and pull that down. And we've got several areas, several little mesh pockets, a little key hook as well, a nice simple design, hook your keys onto there to keep them safe, to know where they are, and a nice elastic piece here as well to help strap things down. So I can imagine keeping things like a gimbal or kind of smaller monopods and stuff like that actually inside there. So really nice little bit of storage there as well. Let's talk about the top of the bag and how this expands before we get into the main compartment. So obviously on top of the bag here, we've just got this nice zip that opens up. And then in the top pocket here as well, the bag does come with a rain cover and also some extra accessory straps that you can attach to the bottom of the bag or in several other places, depending on what you want to carry. Love the fact that to get the rain cover, I don't have to open up the main section of the bag and risk getting any camera gear wet. And then at the moment, this is in its kind of compressed state. So that's kind of compressed further down. And it's just these 2 little clips at the front here. If we undo these, you can see the whole bag kind of opens further up. And then that gives you an extra 10 litres of space where you can carry more accessories, layers, or food, things you're going to need when you're hiking. And honestly, I love how nice the bag looks when it's not expanded. Like clipping that down like this keeps the bag looking nice and compact and nice and sleek. Really love the way that expands as well. Now, in regards to how this bag opens and the internals, there's again some really clever and thoughtful design here. We've got a couple of buckles here helping attach the kind of back piece to the main section of the bag, but they are magnetic and they have these little tabs on them. So you just pull those and then they're super easy to undo and really easy to pop back together as well. So super quick. And then with this bag, it's actually the whole back of it that opens. So this zip runs all the way around the outside of the bag, and then you open it like this, and you've got access to the whole bag in one go. And I really like a bag that kind of opens to the side, almost like a barn door rather than downwards. I find it's just easier, it doesn't get in the way as much, it's easier to get to everything. And having the whole bag open like that is pretty awesome. Like I can get to absolutely everything in here. So to attach these camera inserts securely into the side of the bag, they have these little tabs on the side. So these little toggles kind of go through slits in the side of the bag. And they can be like a little bit fiddly at first, but considering how fiddly they could have been, they've actually been designed really well to make it as easy as possible to kind of take them out and reattach them. So with these little toggles, you just pop the kind of thread through the slit like that, and then give it a good pull and a turn, and it goes in pretty easily. And once you've done that, the camera insert is really secure in the bag. And then the camera insert itself has a nice kind of zip up door, but when you've got it inside the backpack, you're going to want to open that up and use this little Velcro tab just to keep that in place. And that just means it all opens and closes in one go for you like that. Whilst I've got the medium camera cube in here, I'm just using the accessory pouch, which again is kind of secured to the side using those little plastic toggles and those slits in the side of the bag. And then this is actually a little separate compartment. So in there, that can just be kind of accessories and little bits, and that's separate from that expansion section of the bag. But what you can do when you open up the expansion section of the bag, there's actually a zip that separates both those compartments, so you can choose to either keep them together or have two separate places, one for maybe more layers and waterproofs and things you might need, and maybe an extra one here for camera gear. Then on the back of the door here as well, we do also have some extra space. Again, we have a kind of a laptop sleeve here with a little bit of padding to it. There's some good padding on the back of the bag as well. I think if there's a laptop sleeve in a camera bag, that's where it should be, because you're less likely to put the bag down on its back. You're going to be putting it down on its front. So that's a good little spot for that. And then again, up top here, we have a nice little zip pocket as well to open that up to store a few more little bits in there as well. So they're really making the most of the space in this bag and just giving you extra storage and accessory areas where you might need it. As well as working brilliantly within the bag itself, whether it's just the medium cube or the small or both in this 40-litre pack, these camera inserts are actually really nice to use on their own. And I don't know what it is about these camera inserts, but they have made them perfectly for me. The dimensions, the depth, everything, whichever one I use, I can fit everything I need to in the situation I'd need to use them in. So they do deserve a little bit of praise just on their own as well. So this is the medium camera insert and this is the small version. And both are kind of standalone units outside of the bag. Thanks to this big zipper on the door, you can just use them completely separately, which I really like as a feature. And both come with lots and lots of dividers, so you can customize the inside for the layout that you want. I mean, I find most camera inserts come with too many dividers, to be honest with you, but there are definitely plenty with either of these PGYTECH ones. Another feature that's really nice with these inserts though is they actually come with their own shoulder strap. And the good thing about these shoulder straps is they can attach to your insert via the same toggles it uses to secure itself into the bag. Kind of just pop that through the loop at the end. And then you can use one of these as its own standalone bag and actually kind of flip it around to work directly out of it. I found I've actually used this smaller one as a travel bag, as a kind of a carry-on personal item on a plane. I can fit a camera body in there and 3 lenses and then throw that into a larger multi-day hiking backpack when I arrive at my destination if I need to. And then this medium one fits pretty much everything in there I could possibly want. But let me show you how I lay these out and how much I can fit inside. So this is the medium camera insert. And as you can tell, I've pretty much got everything in here I could possibly want for a day of photography and also filming. So this is obviously where my R6 would be with a 24-70. That's what I'm filming on now, but that fits into this gap here, meaning it's really accessible via the kind of quick access door. And then it's so deep I can kind of double stack a few things in here as well. I've got a 70-200 f4, and then on top of that my DJI Osmo Pocket 3 if I want to keep that in there. And then as well I've got space for 2 more lenses. That's a 16-35 f4, that's a Sigma 24 1.4. Relatively good sized lenses, but both fit in there really nicely. And then at the moment I've got 2 stacks of filters in this bottom pocket, but I could easily fit another lens in there as well. That, in all honesty, is pretty much everything I'm going to want to take with me for the day, for a day of shooting and filming. I can obviously put the 2 tripods on the side of my bag and maybe a few other accessories. And then on the odd occasion I might also want to take my drone with me, which easily fits where that accessory compartment was when the bag was open, or I can put my second smaller camera insert in there and use that for a drone as well. As for the smaller camera cube, I was really pleasantly surprised at how much I could actually fit inside here. So you can see here again, this space here does fit my R6 with the 24-70 that I'm currently filming on. That fits in here. Doesn't quite work with the kind of quick access door, unfortunately, but it does mean I can fit another lens here, which is my 16-35. And then here again, I've got a double stack. So I've got my 70-200 f4 as well as my DJI Osmo Pocket 3. So for me, that camera cube there, probably when I'm traveling a little bit lighter or kind of on a longer trip, I'm not really going to take more than that with me. That's probably the max. And it all fits in this small little cube, which is absolutely ideal. Both of them also come with several carry handles on either side, so nice and easy to pick these up and move them around. They feel really good quality. So that's about it for features when it comes to photography and photography storage for this bag. However, there are some really nice hiking specific features too, which I definitely need to show you. When it comes to more hiking and kind of outdoor adventure photography with this bag, it probably is worth mentioning that it's made out of a PU coated Cordura fabric. That is a really robust material, and if you've kind of used products in the outdoor space before, you've probably very well come across that material or heard of it yourself. But being that it's nice and tough, does bode well for the longevity of the bag and using it in more rough circumstances. And then there are also a couple of other kind of more hiking or outdoor specific features on this bag as well. So on the outside here we have this kind of elastic gear holder. They also claim that to be a helmet holder. And it does definitely work, and it feels relatively secure, but it's maybe not the most secure helmet holder I've ever seen on a hiking bag or an outdoor bag. But might not be something that I personally use all that often, but if I need it in a pinch, it's there. It doesn't feel too bad. On the front of the bag, we can also carry 2 hiking poles, and they're actually doing this in a very similar way to most high-end hiking packs would, just using this kind of elastic and toggle situation where you can clip these together and tighten them up. So what we have is a small hoop in the bottom of the bag here, which you can put your pole through, and then just use the little toggle and elastic holder here to clip that on, tighten it up, and then that's nice and secure. And there's one of those on each side of the bag as well. So we can just pop that through the hoop and then clip it on and tighten it up. So a really nice way to be able to carry your poles if you're about to head out on a hike and you want to keep all of your gear together. Love the fact that they've just borrowed that from the hiking industry and not tried to come up with some kind of elaborate design themselves. And I would say there's definitely enough given these elastic loops where you could probably put 2 poles on one side. And even though it isn't advertised as doing so, this bag can actually hold ice axes as well. Just using these loops at the bottom, you can put the ice axe through this, spin it back up, and use that same clip that you used for your poles to hold an ice axe. Again, not something that necessarily a lot of photographers are doing, but great to know that you can do that if you need to. What you can also do is utilize these accessory straps that they give you with the bag, these extra ones, and use the hoops on the bottom of the bag as well to clip these on. And then this is a really useful spot to be able to carry extra gear, like something like this backcountry tent. And this is a 2-man backcountry tent that I could easily fit below the bag here. Now, personally, I'm not a huge fan of kind of hiking with stuff hanging off of my bag, but if I had to have it hanging off anywhere, it would be the bottom like this. Now, I think that this 40-litre version of this bag is probably a little bit too small to take on an overnight backcountry camping trip. However, I think if I had the 50-litre version of this bag, used the expansion and the smaller camera insert, and had a tent hanging from the bottom of the bag, that you could make it work. So it's definitely a great little feature to have if you need it. Even though the bag here is really good, there is obviously a little bit of room for improvement, as there is with kind of any product, I'd say. And these are a little bit nitpicky, but I've got a couple of like tiny gripes with the bag, I think. So the way these accessory straps work is with a sort of plastic hook and then a fabric loop on the side of the bag, and they kind of hook on together. They do stay together pretty securely, but they're a little bit fiddly to kind of undo and do up. And especially for me, I think that might get a little bit annoying for the ones on the side. This is really where I'm going to be keeping my tripod, and I'm going to be securing it down with this strap. And ideally with that, I want as quick access to it as I can possibly get. So, like I said, they're a bit fiddly to undo and do back up. So I think if they replace that with some kind of quick connecting clip that you could just clip open and pop open and shut really quickly, that would be ideal. One other small thing as well is just that a lot of the accessory pockets in the bag are just kind of pockets. There's no zips or seal on them at all. So I think if you're storing things inside this, and say your bag's going up into an overhead compartment of an aeroplane and getting tipped around or pulled upside down on about the place, the chances are stuff's going to kind of fall out of this and it's not going to stay super organized. So I think if they'd added some Velcro or some zips to some of these pockets, that would have been really nice. Now, I don't know if this will be an issue, but I have noticed a few times just the way they kind of zip to the main compartment of the bag is designed. It goes right around the edge of the bag, so it goes around some quite sharp corners. And sometimes when you're undoing it, it can feel a little bit tough to get round some of those corners. I think over time, that's probably going to loosen up as the more I use the bag. And I've even noticed that from initially testing it when I first got it, they definitely did feel a bit stiff around the corners. But I love the fact that the whole thing opens, so I don't think I would compromise on that. It might just get a little bit annoying if they do get caught all the time and you're kind of consistently opening the back. Now, this is definitely a little thing, but I think they definitely missed a bit of a trick with this shoulder pouch. It's obviously a great size for a can of bear spray, and you can easily fit most phones inside that, but it's just a few inches short of fitting in a kind of standard running hydration flask like this. So if they'd made this just a couple of inches deeper, it would have fit one of these in there perfectly, and then you'd easily be able to drink whilst you were hiking, and that would be a feature that I would use all the time. The thing with this is once you've drunk part of the bottle, it's going to start flopping around. So yeah, on the next generation, just extend that pocket just a little bit. Even though there are those few little things that have a little bit of room for improvement, there is just so much that I love about this bag. Like, I absolutely love the fact that my capture clip can go here and it doesn't go directly against my body. I've got a nice piece of thick foam between me and the weight of my camera, so it makes it so much more comfortable. I love the frame on this bag. The fact that it's essentially a normal hiking frame, which is breathable and comfortable, is fantastic and makes the bag great to carry for long periods of time. I love the fact that I can fit my Nalgene in the side pocket, which is great if I want to carry a couple of litres of water with me. And I also love the fact that I can carry tripods on the side or in the centre of the bag. There really is a lot to love about this bag, and I love the way that it cinches down when I'm not using the full expanded compartment. The bag still looks super sleek. Now, this bag does a lot, but it doesn't claim to do everything, and I think that's a good thing. For example, it doesn't advertise the fact that it can hold ice axes, but it can. And it doesn't advertise the fact that it can hold skis, and I don't think it could. However, the things it does really well. It's a durable and, most importantly, a comfortable photography hiking bag, which you can definitely carry weight in for a long period of time. The back system on this bag is easily as good as any pure hiking bag that I've ever tried, and the versatility and features mean you can carry pretty much any combination of photography gear and accessories, as well as some hiking essentials. So for me, and I'm not just saying this bag is as close as it gets to that perfect balance between a comfortable hiking bag and a practical photography bag in one package. So go and check it out. That is the PGYTECH OnePro Flex. There is a link in the description below that really helps this channel out if you do want to check out the bag. And for me, this is definitely going to be the bag I'm going to be using on any hiking photography trips in the future.